Hello and welcome to another wonderful webinar from Self Care University. Okay, my name is Connie and I am the owner and founder of Self Care University. Okay, and I really think it's really important for you to know why I do remote working. I do some one-on-one, but a lot of what I do is actually where I work from home in my home office. And I think it's so fantastic because I get to meet you all where you are. You get to choose the day, you get to choose the time, you get to choose the setting. Do we talk in your living room? Do we talk in your office? Do we talk outside when you're able to sit on the porch? Now, if you're a practitioner and not a client, then let's go ahead and dive in to some healthy self-care practices for those that are doing remote working. All right, so let's just jump right into it. Remote working, it has become increasingly popular, and it can come with its own set of challenges, I will say, including like stress level and let's just say your time, your own space can also be discussed a part of this webinar as well. So we're going to go over some things that are going to be healthy for you and healthy for your clients. So let's talk about some tips to reduce stress when you actually have a remote job. Some people have a remote job and they talk to other people that are across the country. It's different time zones and or you might be doing a remote job because you're going to be there just for a little while. It doesn't matter. All of this is going to make complete sense. Okay. Let me see how many. One, two, three. I've got seven. So seven, we've got this. We should have this knocked out in less than 20 minutes, right? We have plenty of time. If you are in your car, just feel free to listen to this. I'm not going to be showing anything. So this is not a show and tell moment. This is really just kind of a listen and have this be more of a podcast type moment for you. Here's the first one, and you're going to see me looking at my notes because I mean, that's seven things, and I really want to make sure I don't miss the mark on these. Here is the first one. Set up a designed workspace. Like I just mentioned, your workspace could be in your office. One thing I will say is if you do have a designated, um, I think I said designed workspace, but you know what? That's fine. We're going to go with that too. But when you set up a designated workspace, I really think that if you are someone who goes, well, some days I want to be in my office and some days I want to be outside as well, do it. I think that is such a unique opportunity for business owners and for us who do our services remotely is that we can literally be anywhere. Okay. But it is very important to have a dedicated workspace where you can actually work uninterrupted. I have dachshunds, and so those little girls think it is so cute to tell me when there is a neighbor getting in their car across the street. And I know that there are some people who don't mind that a dog's, my dogs bark. But when you work remotely, just sometimes that's going to happen. And sometimes that just brings us back to reality that we're not in a doctor's office. We are not inside a stuffy office sitting in a very uncomfortable chair. And we're not actually sitting on top of a table that has the world's thinnest paper. Cue the dogs, told you that has the world's thinnest paper that is known to man, and you're just absolutely uncomfortable. So there you go. All right. So this can help you maintain a healthy work-life balance and also to prevent your work from spilling into your personal space. One thing I'll tell you is that I'm a mom and my kids are home from school. It is summertime of me filming this webinar, and they are home and they are, outside in the pool doing whatever they want to do, reading a book. They could be in their room. But whenever when the kids go back to school, the entire house is open to me to be able to move from room to room. So I like that. And then working outside, I do try to limit that just because I can wear ear pods, but whatever I say is not gonna be quiet because I like for people to hear me and I like to project my voice so that it can be heard. And so I just don't want everybody in my neighborhood uh letting someone know that I'm talking to that we're talking about their hormone results. Okay. But for you, I really love for you to find a place that is super comfortable for you. All right. So let's go into two. Let's just go ahead and just go right on in. Create a routine. This is where you're going to establish a regular schedule for when you start and you end work. You are going to work so much as a remote worker because you really don't have the downstairs restroom to go to, then find the vending machine or the break room to get yourself a snack. And then you're going to go and you're going to say hi to a few coworkers. And then you're going to end up back in your desk to try to get your mind around what you, which task you were on next. So when you do work remote, do not get fatigued with your schedule. And it's not just 5 more minutes, it's close the computer. You would have had to do that anyway because the cleaning crew would have started to come in if you are working at an office. So, establish a regular schedule for when you start and end work. Take breaks. Schedule your breaks because you would anyway. If you're someone who has an eating pattern of where you have breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, and then you're off work, then keep that same schedule. But just remember to eat health conscious, because you're probably doing less steps than you would be if you were to work, let's say, at a job where you had to park in a parking space, maybe in a parking garage, and then take those steps all the way inside, then clock in, badge in, sign into your computer or whatever it takes. Does that make sense? So really make sure that you're taking those breaks. And what is really nice is you can engage in other activities. If you find yourself wanting to go for a walk around your neighborhood, if you find that you want to step outside, remove your shoes and socks, put your feet in the grass, and have a moment of where you are just having this, vitamin D exposure in the sun, and you are able to recharge, hear the birds chirp. So I hope all of that makes sense because this can actually help you maintain a sense of structure and still have control, all the while you are helping to reduce your stress level. Let's go to three. Again, taking breaks is so important because taking breaks that are very regular can help you avoid burnout because you are the owner of your own schedule. You may work remote and you may actually have a day full of meetings, and you're thinking, you're so funny because my day is full of meetings. Well, just so you know, you are in control of your schedule. Even though that's when other people have the meeting, then you still need to take your breaks. Taking your breaks are so important. I call them brain breaks. I always have in my practice, I call them brain breaks, where you actually give yourself time to let your brain think about nothing, because then you're able to recall that you have a doctor's appointment. You're able to recall that you actually need to call the school and get that parent teacher meeting scheduled, or that you are a mom and you have kids who are going to want a meal or a snack when they get home from school, and you want to go ahead and get that set out. You own your schedule. So even if you are 5 or 10 minutes late on a meeting, just tell them to run through some of the basics. And when you get to the meeting, you can. I get it. They may sound a lot easier said than done, but remember, you're the one working remote. Okay. It's not a cush thing all the time. In fact, remember, sometimes you work more hours in a remote position than you do with that 9 to 5. Okay. And stress reduction and avoiding burnout is absolutely essential. So get up from your desk, go and stretch. If you are someone who has known people to, or if you have ever taken an international flight, it is so worth it for your health, for the health of your body, to get up at least every 2 hours, or to make sure every hour for about 15 minutes that you're moving your feet up and down like this. I said I wasn't going to do any hand motions or show and tell, but hopefully you can get what I'm saying if you're someone who's just listening to this part. So making sure that you keep the blood flowing and really get a chance, you're going to take restroom breaks and different things like that. You're going to get up and get some water, get a snack. Now, if you're taking too many and it's becoming unhealthy, then I'm going to ask you to make sure that your job, I'm sure, has a calendar to really make sure you structure yourself in when not restroom breaks, because those are just when your body's telling you what to do. But whenever you are needing to go stretch or go for a walk or get a snack or just listen to some whales or some birds chirping or whatever it is on YouTube, and then just get right back into focus. And you never know, you may actually continue that breath works or that type of music into just a few more hours of your workday so that you can bring some of that stress down. Okay. So go for a walk and then do some deep breathing exercises. Like I just mentioned, breath works is a really wonderful thing. If you have more questions about that, make sure you talk to me. I have several people that I know and that I can refer you to. Okay. So I am not a breath works practitioner, but being a self care coach, a registered nurse, a women's wellness practitioner, I really think it's great to be referred to someone who is actually going to be worth your time and your money to receive the education that you need so that you can move on and get what you need. So let's go ahead and move on to 4. Stay connected. Remote work can actually be super isolating. And I know that sounds interesting to say to stay connected. I'm not saying stay connected to your clients. That's not what I'm talking about. Because your clients, those are going to be a shoo-in. Those are going to be a person on your schedule, but you're not talking about your day. You're not talking about what you're going to have for dinner. You're not going to talk about how the kids, got volleyball practice or different things like that. Because there are times when we're at work and we're staying professional and we're keeping the conversation focused on our clients or to the task at hand. But what I'm talking about is making sure that you stay connected with your colleagues or your friends and your friends. I'm not talking make an hour call with your bestie unless you already have that in your schedule because you and your bestie are business collaborators. You find that that time is super valuable for your business. Then you know what? Use That's a good use of your time. But what I'm talking about is staying connected with your colleagues, such as scheduling regular virtual meetings just to chat, just to really say, this is what I've got going on. This is what I'm dealing with. This is, so you can actually talk about work and get some resolution to some issues that you may have, or if there was a document that you just absolutely cannot find. Really make sure you stay connected with your colleagues because you would get up from your desk, you would go over to them, you would actually pick up the phone, you would call them, just as you would if you had a desk job, as they say, inside a brick and mortar building. So make sure that you stay connected and engaged with your boss, your coworkers, and make sure that you guys stay connected. Let's move to number 5. This one's really fun. Practice self care. So, taking care of your physical and mental health, we talked about it just a little bit in these 1 through 4 sections here. But taking care of your physical and mental health by eating a healthier diet, getting enough sleep. Do not wake up in the middle of the night to go in and finish the rest of that report or the rest of that thing because you know what's going to happen is you're going to start bombarding the time that you should be sleeping, and then the rhythm of our brain is actually being disrupted. And if you were to go back to bed, do you even remember like what you said? Because if you sent that email, I would strongly urge you to avoid sending anything like that, like 2 o'clock in the morning, unless they are in another country and 2 o'clock in the morning is a time zone of what you need to be working with. but make sure you're getting your 6 to 8 hours of sleep and making sure you're getting that rhythm and making sure that your body is able to do what it's needing to do during those hours of sleep. Plus, we can be better aware, better crisp, better on the ball for whenever we are going to be in those meetings and somebody's wanting us to think on a dime and to be able to come up with what we need to instead of being exhausted. Okay. The other thing that's super wonderful is you can actually engage in regular exercise. If you have an app or if you have I keep using YouTube, but YouTube, if you have a 5 minute sit and fit, or if you have a 5 minute, um, just kind of get the heart rate up a little bit, just so that your brain gets that good oxygen flow. Those are so powerful. And you can find yourself getting into a content creator that has 20, and then you can do one, two, three, four, all the way to 20, and then circle back, which is like super, super great. Also, this can help reduce stress. Remember, we've got the dopamine, we've really got the endorphins that we're getting from the exercise, we're meeting with people, our oxytocin levels are doing fantastic. So, really, we can actually do all these and improve our overall well being. I know a lot of people say, I don't know how it can be done, but what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to try it for at least 7 days or 5 working days for sure. If you own your own business, you never take a day off. So that's why I said try it for 7 days. Now, here's number 6. So manage your workload. If you feel like whenever you work remote, if you feel like you're working 60 to 80-hour work weeks in just 1 week, that's just no. I was going to say that's crazy, but to some, they feel so productive whenever they do that. And so I really feel like you will find yourself in a really, really fast avenue to burnout, thinking that you can actually spend your time 60 to 80 hours a week being productive like that. It's not going to happen. So manage your work week, prioritize your tasks. Have you ever heard someone say, how do you eat an entire elephant with one bite at a time? So I kind of said that really fast and didn't give you a chance to answer. But I'm here to tell you is yes, every day you have a brand new elephant that is presented to you in a day. And some of you may feel like you have the other half of the elephant from yesterday that you didn't eat. But what I'm going to tell you is what got left for yesterday, go ahead and finish. You still have the rest of your elephant um, for the day, but make sure you put the highest priority task, like the biggest fire, whatever needs the most attention, get that done first, even if it's the biggest task. Because most people think that if they get the smallest, like all these little bitty tiny tasks done, then you know what, that's really going to make that bigger task seem smaller. It's absolutely not. Because when we're awake, we're vibrant, we're ready to go, we're ready to hit the ground running. Those bigger tasks are absolutely approachable, and our mindset is ready, set, go. So that whenever we do need to tackle those smaller ones, we are on it. So prioritize your task and set realistic goals for what you can accomplish in a day. Remember, if you still have some leftovers from yesterday to do, get that done first. Okay. So this can actually help you manage your workload and reduce stress. This is a theme here, right? Working remote does not have to be stress. It can actually be stress free when you take control of situations like that are absolutely in your control, which is your time, your schedule, your diet, and your mindset. Okay. Your mindset is going to also fall in line with how much rest you are getting in the night or during the day, whichever shift you are doing. So let's talk about the last one. This is number 7, limiting your distractions. So working from home can be super distracting because I said right now that my kids are in their summer session. There is at least an hour where they are reading their books and or an hour where they are doing math. So they already have something to do, something to occupy their time. It's not like this isn't snack time. For them, this isn't, they need my help with anything, because this is their time to unwind and read a book and stay focused on something so that I can actually do what I need to do. So, working from home, like I said, it can be distracting, so limit interruptions and distractions as much as possible. Now, remember, we are human, and there are people who have questions, and so really, just be a little bit fluid in that. In the time that I am doing this webinar, it is nothing for me to press pause and to take care of something that someone needs. But I've made sure to set a standard that I've told everybody what I'm doing. I've told them how long I need, and that right there is already ready to go. Unless there is a house fire, then no one should be able to interrupt me or hear what I'm saying, so that I can move on to do what I need to do. And those are really just setting parameters. And like I said, that also comes along with control. This can really help you maintain your focus and reduce stress. Because if this entire time I was wondering if my kids are reading their books, or I was wondering if they were doing their math, or this whole time I was wondering what is going on outside of this office and not focusing on my clients, or not focusing on my tasks, or not making sure that my schedule is that my day is in line with my schedule, and that I'm staying on point. Really, you can get all focused, and you can find yourself uh, in a stressful mindset, and just really on the road to burnout. So working remotely, it can offer many benefits. It could also come with its unique challenges that can increase stress levels. That can be true. But in this video, we've explored the 7 practical tips for reducing stress, okay, when working from home, especially remote. So from creating a dedicated workspace to managing your workload, these tips can actually help you maintain a healthy work-life balance, and also help improve your well-being. So whether you're new to remote work, or you're a seasoned pro, these principles and strategies, they can actually help you reduce stress and have a more productive and focused day. And I think that is super, super impactful. And I hope that you enjoy remote work life. I hope that you enjoy working from home. I hope that you enjoyed these stress-free tips, and that you found yourself having this work-life balance, for also making sure that you maintain wellness at work. There are so many um, companies that are starting to practice this, in that they are making sure that whenever you are working for them, that they get you on track for making sure that you're checking your blood pressure if you need to check your blood pressure, go to your doctor's visits, and making sure that there is time in your schedule for the workday to have plenty of time off to go to your doctor's appointments. So you working remote, is you're really just gonna have to make sure that you stay in communication with your boss and your coworkers, so that they know that you're out of the office. And I really like to tell, I own my own business, but whenever I did work remote and I worked at home, I liked to let my boss know, my manager know, I'm going to a doctor's appointment, and I've had this doctor's appointment for a month. And so I really am excited for this appointment, just letting you know that this is on my schedule. So they really know, obviously, every doctor's appointment is so important, and who are they to judge or scrutinize? But really, if there was a meeting that absolutely required my attention, my boss, my manager already knew that this is an appointment that I've had for an entire, month, and that I needed to really not be present at that meeting, and someone needed to either bring me the question to my attention after the meeting, and someone could vouch for me during say the Zoom meeting, and say, I know that that person will get back with you. They are currently out of the office. And that just really just takes stress off the team. They don't have to say where you're at, what you're doing. But you know what? Just really making sure that you are open and upfront with your colleagues. I think that's super, super great. So, well, I hope this has been super beneficial for you, and you all have a fantastic day. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email at Connie at selfcareuniversityok.com. If you need any information about what I'm talking about, or if I mentioned something and you're needing a referral or a recommendation, I'm happy to do so. You'll have a fantastic day.